Lights are going up, snow is falling down. There's a feeling of goodwill around town. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here. People throwing parties, ugly sweaters everywhere. Stockings hung up by the chimney with care. It could only mean one thing. McRib is here.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake. From choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's Zola.com.
This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Hannah Green, Noralia, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin Ishara, Ashlee Bradley, Laura Lewis, Helena Jacobsen, and Matthew Mendoza. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Ryan Dider, Dia Grace, and Erik to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. We really appreciate your support, and we could not do this without you. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 30 of Towers of Midnight.
Yeah, Chapter 30 is Men Dream Here.
Yeah, another chapter title I'm not crazy about.
Well, come on. I love the chapter, though. Like, I really like that we get to see the other side of Vans of Gold from the Perrin and Wolf perspective.
You know what?
It's so cool.
Okay.
It's so cool.
Okay, listen.
Okay.
This chapter starts off with me going, okay, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
And even about halfway through, I'm like, okay, I get it. Another montage. But then when it dawns on me what's actually going on,
right,
then I go,
whoa, very cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a neat
because then
perspective.
we got this real life timeline mashup.
Yeah.
Because last time we got Tam leaving and we sort of had to speculate.
Yeah.
But
we are in the moment.
We see the timeline mashup.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there too. Okay. But it's also fun for the fun fact. This one's kind of short and sweet, but I already know I'm going to butcher a bunch of the pronunciation because we're talking about Norse mythology.
Favorite.
You just got to go with it. So we're talking about Fimbulvitr.
Okay.
Yeah, or
Fimbulwinter. Of course, yeah.
Meaning awful mighty winter. Okay, so we get this gigantic snowstorm up on the mountain, the thunderstorm, the tempest.
Did you count?
I came up a few times. Tempest was...
And tempestuous.
Yeah, tempestuous and tempest and tempestuous.
I was like, should we play the Tempest drinking game?
And then we'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, so we get this, and we get the Perrin and the Wolves. They all get to experience and witness this event, and we're kicking off the last hunt. Pretty freaking cool.
Which is something.
So with Norse mythology, we also have Ragnarok, which is basically the end of the world.
Hey,
We've talked about it before. I mean, it's like Thor, because Marvel, yeah, they do the Ragnarok. Okay, so Ragnarok is a real thing in Norse mythology.
I believe you.
Yeah, it's the end of the world, more specifically Twilight of the Gods, where the world is going to be set on fire, humanity and society is going to collapse, and then Odin gets killed by Fenrir, the giant wolf.
Whoa.
Okay, whoa. But there's...
Fenrir Greyback is the werewolf in
I think you mentioned that because I've mentioned Fenrir before because there was a different fun fact. But anyways, in relation to this, so Fimbulwinter. It's a series of 3 winters without summer, where snow falls from every direction. There's going to be lots of wars. It's more or less the kickoff to Ragnarok itself and the end of all life on Earth. So very cool that we get this like winter tempest scene too.
Whoa.
Right? Now we've got wolves that are very strongly associated with both Fimbulwinter and Ragnarok. We've got Fenrir. He's the jerk who eats Odin at the end of the world.
Jerk.
And then Fenrir's butthead children, Skuld and Hati, who eat the sun and the moon during Ragnarok.
No.
Yeah, and then on the other side, we've got Gary or Jerry and Freki, who are Odin's faithful pets, who are considered to be good omens. They're wolves, right? So we've got all these wolves that are a part of Ragnarok and the end of the world and kicking that off too, which is pretty neat. They're often depicted alongside the 2 ravens, which you know their names, right? Hugin and Munin.
No.
Okay. So yeah, so there's a little...
I thought you were going to talk about Remus and the other, but that's
Harry
Roman?
Potter.
No.
Remus? I'm
Remus
pretty sure.
and the she-wolf, the 2 twins who drank from the she-wolf,
Right, that is, ancient Rome.
and Remus and something.
Romulus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
see?
Rome.
Yeah, but it's also wolf related.
Yeah, not Norse.
No.
Ragnarok.
No.
This is the end of the world. The last hunt.
Yeah.
End of the world.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Cool. That's a good one.
Okay.
I liked it. It's fine.
Yeah, a lot of wolves. I said short and sweet.
Yep. That's good. Now pour me a shot.
Okay, because you said it.
I did say it, and people will come for my head. Because we're getting into the holiday spirits.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Well, also, this is our last episode we're recording for like 2 weeks.
In this year.
In this year, yeah. This is the last one for this year,
Holy
pretty much.
smokes, we're so
Yeah.
on top of things.
Well, we have to be because we're leaving
Good
to go
for us.
on a trip.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Except Fenrir Greyback sucks.
Okay.
He's a bad guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. Wolves, still a lot of people think they're evil, but...
I'm learning a lot about Minecraft wolves right now.
Oh, yeah,
From
okay.
Hayden,
Yeah, I assumed.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for them.
Yeah, their eyes turn red. When...
Well, if you attack them, and then you gotta give them a bone, I think, and then they become
see?
friendly
Oh,
dogs.
see,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know how it works. It's good.
Okay, so chapter 30, Men Dream here, and I might do the thing where I try to find a better chapter title,
Yeah.
because I don't love it. But
Yeah.
it's wolfy,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, and Hopper says it.
I know.
It's-
Just because someone says something doesn't mean it needs to be a chapter title.
That's true. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
Chapter symbol is the wolf, and we're starting in a Fail perspective,
Just a little bit.
as is tradition right before the parent perspective.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
back to it. We're back to tradition. So, Fail is walking with some of the Cha Fail ladies.
Yeah. They were just on a undercover recon mission
Yeah.
to the White Cloak camp.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Pretty
I love it.
sneaky.
Yeah. Should have gone with Barrelane.
Yeah.
Barrelane would be so mad.
I think specifically Barrelane wasn't allowed to
She'll
go.
be so peeved
Yeah.
when she finds out that they went there.
Yeah. Okay, so they went because they're going to, in
Gather
quotes,
some intel.
well, check on Morgaze, make sure she's okay, but they're actually spying on the White Cloaks. Like,
Of
that was their
course.
cover story.
Uh-huh. In case they got caught.
Well, I mean, so that they don't get caught, so that they can enter the White Cloak camp to be like, we want to check on Morgaze, and then these White Cloaks, I don't know if you know, but they don't see ladies very often.
Right.
Yeah, so
I
they're able
actually
to-
do remember that paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
they're like, ooh, ladies.
Ladies. Would you like to know some things about our White Cloak camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not, okay.
So not much going on.
One of them's
Just a
like,
bunch of
I'm pretty sure they know we were spies, and there's like, nah, they don't know.
And even if they did, who cares
Well,
at this point?
it's kind of funny because like the information they find out and they talk about, it's like they find out that the White Cloaks respect Galad, but also a bunch of them are grumbling about what he's saying.
Because they all don't want to fight with the witches.
Yeah, so Galad is doing that whole we gotta side up with the Aes Sedai.
Ally with Aes Sedai.
Yeah, and they don't like that so much. So Fail takes out of that it means Galad is more reasonable than your typical White Cloak.
Yep.
But also, he's very unreasonable a lot of the time.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's really stuck on this whole Perrin's a shadow spawn because he's got yellow eyes thing. That's not the most reasonable
but listen, that's proof.
That's I didn't think of
He has
that.
pure proof.
Yeah.
And other people have said it lots.
That's true.
So.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Now, at this point, somebody comes up to talk to them.
Yeah, Daniel Lewin. So
Daniel.
yeah, he's the guy in charge of the Two Rivers Men.
Since Tam mysteriously left, wonder
Yeah.
where that guy went.
Yeah, it's not a mystery that Tam left, but
It's
where
a mystery
he went.
where he went to.
Where he went, yeah. So So he's in charge of the Two Rivers guys right now.
Yeah, I bet Fael's like, oh, he's probably doing some spying or something somewhere.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
She's all about that.
No, she's all about that.
Yeah, she's all about that.
Yeah.
She's all about the spying.
Yeah.
So when Daniel comes up, he's like, hey. And then Fael's like, oh, what a coincidence to see you here. And he's like, you asked me to be here.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on. She's doing a thing here.
Yeah, and then Fael's like, well, not if Perrin asks about it.
Yeah, very specifically, this is a coincidental meeting. So,
wink.
Wink, 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 wink. Yeah, exactly.
Daniel
doesn't want to lie to Perrin.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't like that.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
And then Fael's like, well, would you prefer that he gets his head chopped off by a bunch of stupid white cloaks?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no.
And then shut
you're
up
right.
about it, and there's a coincidence.
Yeah, I kind of like this backwards planning.
Yeah.
Because Perrin doesn't really seem to have much of a plan if things do go sideways.
It's kind of funny.
If this trial ever happens. There's a lot of ifs here, but...
Yeah. Because they've got this plan, so we figure out here that they have a plan. They've already talked to the Ashaman to get them on board.
Yeah.
That the Ashaman are going to basically grab Perrin, yank him out of there, and play some defense so that we take him away from the fighting, and he can go rejoin the fighting later if he wants to, but not from inside a tent.
Yeah.
Like, that's a death trap. That
and
is
not from
good.
a position of you just lost your trial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of funny because this is a good plan, but again, Perrin has publicly said to like our people that even if there's the trial, he's not going to do the punishment.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit weird that he's really not planning any sort of extra strategy at all.
Yeah.
Like what happens?
And he's also not doing a very good job prepping
Yeah.
for this trial, in Fael's opinion.
Yeah.
Because Perrin says, I'm just going to tell the truth.
Gonna say what happened.
I'm just going to say what happened, and we'll see what happends.
And it's like, well, yeah, but you should probably get a lawyer.
Maybe.
Kind of seems like you should get someone to
Mm-hmm.
maybe talk you through some phrasing.
We need some good old razzle-dazzle. We need some Tom Marilyn
Right.
to come in and be his lawyer.
I like that.
Tom Marilyn would be an excellent razzle-dazzle lawyer. Like Richard Gere in Chicago. Like, that's what I'm picturing. But
Totally,
like Tom
yeah.
doing juggling and stuff.
I don't know that reference, but I totally agree.
What? Yes, you do.
Richard Gere in Chicago, you think I know that reference?
Yes.
I know the name Richard Gere, and I know the
What
play
do you keep saying?
Chicago.
Richard Gere.
Oh, then I don't know him very well. And I've never seen Chicago.
Yes, you have. You've never seen Chicago?
No, I know you've watched it tons of times. I don't think I've ever... You tried to make me watch part of it, for sure.
Only part?
I don't know if we got through the whole thing.
What?
I might have tuned it out.
You like musicals.
I don't think I ever watched that one, though.
You should. It's great.
Okay, well, that's not the point of this.
Okay, that's what we're watching next. I have it on DVD.
No, we're watching Gladiator next.
I don't want to watch Gladiator. Oh.
Tradesies. I'll watch Chicago if you watch Gladiator.
Well, you'll watch Chicago anyway. You'll like it.
Okay, you'll like Gladiator. Okay. All right. So we've got Grady and Neil.
Anyway,
the
razzle
Ashman.
dazzle, you know?
Razzle dazzle. That's perfect. That's what we got to do. They weren't injured in this bubble of evil. When the weapons were coming alive, they were just like blasting them out of the air. Yeah, the Ashman were blasting the weapons out of the air, and they were walking around their side of the camp just like blasting weapons left and right.
Yep.
Which was good because now the people aren't injured, but also we have a lot less weapons. So part of this delay tactic is now we're trying to recraft some weapons
In case
because
there is a battle.
Yeah, because we destroyed a lot of them in that whole bubble of evil attack. So that's kind of what's going on here. So they agree, like, yeah, we'll pull Perrin out.
Good.
And we're just not really going to talk to him about the plan until it's happening.
Yeah, and I just think, good luck.
Yeah.
Short of like wrapping him up in air.
That's what they taught. That's the plan.
That's what
that's
they're gonna
literally
do?
the
Okay,
plan.
because I'm like, that guy.
Yeah, one of
is
them's going
not
to prepare
getting pulled
air.
Anyway, okay.
And then the other's going to do like some defense so we don't get...
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm on board.
Okay.
But we still have a weird thing about gateways.
Yes, gateways
But
are not
only
working.
the men.
No.
Well, Nynaeve gatewayed her ass in here.
We don't know where that starts and ends. We don't. We do not know.
Well, she did.
Yeah, well, she also didn't necessarily come right into the camp with a gateway because gateways cut people in half. We've talked about this. She may have gatewayed a little ways away and then, went into the camp. We do not know, but we also know that gateways are not really working right now here.
Does it have to do with the weird dome?
We don't know that.
And the dream spike and the...
We don't know that.
Other stuff?
Potentially. Potentially, because clearly it does something. But we don't know.
Okay. Keep my eye out.
Okay, yeah. You're like squinting.
That's because I don't believe what you're saying right now.
I gave you a maybe. Like, what more do you want? Like, it could be that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. And I think it's kind of pointless because I don't think there's even ever going to be a trial. So it doesn't matter.
At this point, that's kind of what we're shaping up to not have is no trial, no battle. We're just going to... Yeah.
But, I love the proactive approach.
Okay.
Better to be proactive than reactive, I always say.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this next perspective here.
Okay, so we're going to perspective change to Perrin, and he's already in the wolf dream. We don't even have to have any Fail-Perrin banter and have him drift off to sleep at all.
Yeah, he's been going to sleep like early.
Yeah.
And every night he's doing
He's practicing, he's training, it's a whole Rocky montage.
It's so good.
And I was like, I thought we weren't going to get
you did
more
say
of
that.
these.
You did say that. But there's one thing Perrin can do, and that's
and you know what's kind of
just
annoying?
drag it out. Yeah.
More than anything, and it's not just because it's Perrin.
Okay.
But because this is another sort of repeated plot.
Yeah.
Like, we already watched Egwene learn the dream world and learn about people's nightmares and learn about what's real is real and this is that.
Yeah.
Like, as the reader, we don't gain anything new from this sequence whatsoever.
Except the last half of the chapter.
Well, yeah, but
like
that
the
part's
montage.
good.
Yeah,
But
the
like,
montage.
It just goes on, and I'm just thinking...
But now you get to hear it from a wolf saying it. That's new.
And we get Perrin learning it.
Except that we've already had Perrin and Hopper doing this too.
For so long.
Yeah.
So this drags.
A little bit, yeah. So let's just let's do all the cool.
Let's do Dream Wolf running.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing.
Through this chapter.
Here's something that's a little bit new.
I'm gonna take really big steps and go real fast.
Yeah, real fast.
Right
okay.
through this chapter.
Right.
To the end where it's good.
Perrin is learning to not be afraid of becoming young bull. He is learning balance. He can be young bull when he needs to be. He can be Perrin when he needs to be. He feels
Beautiful.
like he's growing.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. Okay, and then Hopper has some advice that I'm pretty sure we've heard before. He says, make the world yours, young bull. Because Perrin's got to work on the whole manipulating the environment thing.
And I have to say, Hopper is a bit of a better teacher than the wise ones.
Yeah.
The wise ones are much meaner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hopper can be pretty mean, but like...
He's mean, but way more patient.
Insults, yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, because Hopper's always like, you're a dumb, idiot, stupid baby cub.
Yeah.
Yeah, making dumb mistakes, so...
Yeah, but what I like about Hopper as a teacher is he doesn't, on purpose, put Perrin into danger. He, sets him up saying, this is going to be dangerous, be careful, and I'm going to rescue you when you need it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a slower learning technique, but the wise ones just really shoved Egwene off the deep end.
Yeah.
And then said, don't go in the dream. And then she did anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wolves,
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we got to work on the manipulation of the surroundings. That's going to become relevant.
Okay, so that's going to be
right
the
away.
next debate.
Yeah.
Who's a better dream world teacher?
Oh, okay.
Hopper or the wise ones?
Oh, not really a question.
Is it Hopper?
It's called the wolf dream. It's not called the wise one's dream.
No. Okay.
What do you think? What's your opinion?
Or Baalzamon, when he was trying to teach Rand about it
Oh, yeah.
a while ago?
Yeah.
In book 3 or something?
Sure. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I just said Hopper.
Okay, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. But
Who's
other
better?
people are going to
Who's
have...
better? Who's better, Perrin or Egwene?
Egwene.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, because she learned by trial and error.
Yeah.
And lots of error.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And has had more practice and experience.
Sure. For now, look at all this montage training we're doing.
I think that she has a much better understanding of what this place is.
Yeah, but we have Hopper who's like, make it yours. This place not real. Whatever you think is what
Perrin
is.
specifically thinks
Yeah.
this is the place that wolves go.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite connect it to a place where he can meet up with his friends for coffee dates,
Right.
and information exchanging
Right. Like talking to each other.
under the watchful eyes of Forsaken.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Walk into that one. Okay.
Let's jump over to the Johanna Road and look for that purple dome. Is it still here?
Is it still here?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Probably causing some weird stuff to happen.
Yeah. And then we're going to do some more practicing. And then this is the neat part where he jumps place to place to place. And it's like the whole following. How do you learn how to follow someone?
I already saw this. Yep.
Yep. But this time, Hopper, goes into the middle of the water or the ocean or the sea or lake or whatever. And he lands on top of the water. And then Perrin splashes through the water. And he's like, whoa. And then Hopper's like, hey, bud, looks like you don't like water very much. And then
Perrin's like, I was just surprised. I just wasn't expect you to swim.
Yeah, I mean, Hopper gives him some good advice. Why are you surprised about anything when you're following blindly? You have to expect anything.
The unexpected.
Expect the unexpected, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Okay. Then Hopper says, hey, man, you need to be better than this or you're not going to beat Slayer. Ever. So, Perrin,
Dun, dun, dun.
we need to do better. Because Perrin's like, I got to fight him. And Hopper says, you could not do that.
Yeah.
But then what the heck are we doing here?
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? What are we doing?
What's this all been about? If I
Right?
can't scuba,
What's this all been about? Okay. All right. So we can't let Slayer off the hook. We got to kill that guy.
Okay,
All right.
agreed.
Yeah. Now we got to speed up the training.
It's
Hey,
not going
Hopper.
fast enough.
Hey, Hopper, do you have a strategy for that?
Do you know any other way for me to learn faster?
Right?
Yes, but it's more dangerous.
That's okay. We have to do it.
Yeah, we have no time.
We got to do this. Okay. So this is where we get the chapter title.
Men dream here.
Yeah. So they go to Camelin.
This is where men dream.
This is where men dream. Not just wolves.
And ladies.
Anybody. Man
People.
isn't like mankind.
People dream.
People dream here. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Hopper. And then from Hopper's perspective, it's like everybody can come here. It's not just a place for wolves. Like technically anybody can show up anywhere.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people who are dreaming are going to show up somewhere they're familiar. So that's part of why we stay away from the cities, even in the wolf dream, is because people have nightmares and they suck.
Yes.
Oh, they're the
Yeah.
worst.
And so this is essentially what the wise ones did with Egwene.
And the Aes Sedai. They had a whole little conniption there where they all the Aes Sedai got trapped in a nightmare and it was bad.
And it's also because of the wise one tactic of teaching Egwene,
Mm-hmm.
this is when Egwene felt that it was okay to do to Nynaeve.
Yeah, whole other problem.
And then they also got caught in someone else's nightmare about Trollocs or something.
Yeah.
And a cook pot or something. Like a
Something.
giant thing. Anyway,
There's been a few.
there's been a thing. So here, at least, Hopper is like, this is dangerous. You can die here.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be scary, but you can do it, and I'll come in and get you if you can't. Like,
Right.
kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like, that feels more mentory than just, like, shove you off the deep end and see if you die.
Yeah.
Or just scare the shit out of you so you don't do what we don't say not to do.
Love it. You know, both can be effective.
And it was effective, but not great, you know? Not
Yeah.
very humane
Yeah.
way of teaching anybody
Are
anything.
you saying that Hopper is more humane than the humans? That was bad. That was
so
bad.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Nah, I got nothing. Okay, anyway, so hunting in the fear dreams. You're going to learn strength, and you're going to do it fast.
And Perrin's like, oh, nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Fear dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, horrifying stuff here.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, and then 20 seconds later, like, we're there. We get a dream
We're there.
immediately.
And
Yeah.
some lady is running away from a big giant monster.
Yeah, this is a pretty good dream sequence, too, because we've seen all sorts of...
Pretty good nightmare.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, too. So we got the
Pretty
big
realistic.
monster...
Like, people are scared of the Dragon Reborn. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you just spoiled it. Oh, my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
she
Well, because
thinks
at
it's the
first...
Dragon Reborn.
At first, Perrin doesn't even know what we're running away from, and then she's like, "Oh, we gotta go," and is trying to run away from Perrin too. But then he like catches her, and he's like, "What are we doing here?" And then we get the big shadow monster that's like huge and growing and terrifying,
Glowing
and
eyes
yeah. And then
yep.
Perrin automatically thinks like, "Oh, we gotta fight this thing," but
Yeah.
then like,
He's like,
"Oh
how
wait,
am I supposed to fight it? It's huge. I need the advantage.
right?"
And he's like thinking about how to fight it. And
So then we
she's
both
like-
start running, and
Yeah.
then he's like, "Wait a second, what is this?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's him. It's the Dragon Reborn." And it's really
And then
funny.
Perrin's like, no,
Wait
it
a
isn't.
second. I know that guy.
I know him.
I know him. And
Yeah.
that's not him.
So that means this isn't real.
yeah, so it kind of snaps him out of it. But that's kind of
Helps
interesting just with
ground
the
him in
nightmare thing.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah, like you do really kind of get lost in it, unfortunately. And that makes sense with nightmares that we have too. Like
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, a lot of the times you think like it's real, but as soon as you're not, you're like, oh, that's obviously not real.
Yeah, except for the ones that seem really real, and then you wake up and then you're not sure if it was real or not.
Right.
That's always hard.
Right. Okay, so this one, not real. And then he starts to have that mental battle of like, it's not real, it's fake, it's false, all the stuff Hopper told him to do and think about. Like, you just gotta, it's Teleran route. So whatever you think is real. Like, whatever is.
Yep.
Right? So that's why you really gotta be stronger here than
And
the
this is
nightmare.
the fast learning lesson.
And then we got Hopper who's like pushing his way into the dream at the same time as Perrin's fighting it. And then, boom, we come out of it.
Yeah.
So good job.
Okay,
Good job,
so we escape
everyone.
it,
We do.
and we're going to have to reflect on how this went.
Yeah.
Hey, Perrin,
Medium.
how do you think this went for you?
It went medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he does understand that the part where she said, like, the shadow monster is the Dragon Reborn, that helped snap him out of it. So
Yeah.
Hopper is also pretty, like, positive. Hopper's like, you did okay. It's not bad. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for the first one, right? Like, we're not expecting, crazy, he defeated the nightmare all in the first go. Like,
Right.
Perrin did good for the first try at this.
Sure.
We just got to get a montage of him doing it a bunch more times.
I love that.
A whole chapter, hopefully.
I
Just
can't
like
wait.
more nightmare, shadow monster type stuff.
Right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Don't want to blast past that. You really want to get the details.
I'm having a concern.
Right.
I'm concerned
That we're going to knock at that?
that we're not going to get even a fight with Slayer. Like, if we don't get a resolution to this Slayer thing.
Like ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like in this book.
In this book, you want that to... There's barely any of the book left.
What? That's not true.
There's only like 30 more chapters.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like no time.
I just...
27 of those are montages.
Yeah, this is one of those things. Like, the whole Slayer thing, since, book 4?
Yeah.
It's just
It's been a long time.
dragging a little.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
excited for it.
I know. You want it to happen. Just like that White Cloak battle.
I actually don't want that to happen.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last part to reflect on this whole dream.
Yeah.
Was that lady real?
Yes.
Not really.
Oh.
Yeah. So Hopper kind of explains that too. People who are coming
It's
in.
her imagination, isn't it?
So that's kind of the fuzzy point here. She could have been real to begin with. It might have been her dream, but people who are usually like coming in to tell her, they don't stick around that long.
Wolf dream.
Wolf dream. Yeah. So it seems like Hopper says she's not real.
Okay, and so since Perrin went in there, he made it more real. 'cause
Exactly.
He believed it was happening.
It's one of those weird
Okay.
tell around real things.
Now, if you just believe it's not happening, then it just doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's less so about believing. It's like you got to know.
You gotta know.
You got to know, right?
Well, that's what belief is.
No.
Yes?
No.
What is belief to you?
Believing if you don't know. Believing is thinking something even though you don't know,
Oh.
right?
Maybe. You're a good philosophizer.
Yeah. I took philosophizing 101
Did
in
you?
university.
You took Min's class?
What?
You took Min's class?
Yeah, I did.
Read a bunch of books.
Yeah.
You know, watched
Didn't
The
do
Good
very
Place.
well. And I could be totally wrong, but that's
Yep.
okay. That's what we're going to go with in the moment.
Okay, so we don't get much elaboration on this whole thing
Mm.
because Hopper is immediately distracted by what's happening to the north.
Right.
And
Whoa.
before we get into that,
What's happening over there? I don't know.
I think we should take a break
Okay.
and then come on back.
Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake, from choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates, and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. Everybody needs some variety in life. That's what I love about Chumba Casino. They know how to keep things fresh and exciting. All their games are free to play, like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire. You can claim free daily login bonuses, too. And they release new games every week. So spice things up with ChumbaCasino.com now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so we're back,
Yeah. Let's get into it.
and something exciting. Something's happening.
Well, yeah. First, we got to philosophize again about all this, too, because we're going to get Hopper trying to explain what the heck is going on.
Because Perrin's like, what?
What are you looking at?
Yeah.
So Hopper says, the last battle, it comes.
No, the last hunt.
Oh,
He's Hopper.
he's Hopper. He's a wolf.
He's a wolf.
They call it the last hunt.
The last hunt.
And then for a long time, Perrin was like, what is that? I know this
I
last
have
battle thing.
no idea.
What's the last hunt?
Yeah.
So it begins, or
it does not.
it does not.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And Perrin is like right now?
Like now?
Yeah.
Like now it
And he's
begins?
like, yeah, the decision will be made soon.
So Perrin's like, if
Okay.
it's going to be made, can we just make it? Can we just make that decision? And
Yeah,
like,
who makes the decision?
Not us.
No.
Not us.
Not I, said the wolf.
Mhm.
So,
And we know whose decision it is.
well, at first,
Did you know at this point
not
yet?
a clue.
Not yet. Okay.
Not a clue. Literally
Okay.
not until we see Rand.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah, because I was like, ugh, Perrin running around again. What
Well,
are
I mean,
they
we
doing now?
literally popped to Dragonmount. There's the
Well,
big
we-
old tempest swirling around.
We dropped to a mountain that has clouds. I don't inherently know that's Dragonmount. That's not the first thought I have.
I'm pretty sure they say they go to Dragonmount.
Well, I didn't pick up on that.
Pretty sure they... Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Anyways, massive black storm cloud tempestuously tempesting
It sure is.
all around the mountain.
8 shots for you.
Oh, seriously,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And then Perrin can see the wolves. They start to appear at the base of the mountain. And then Hopper says, they wait because we're all here because the last hunt, it comes. Or,
Maybe.
or not.
Yeah.
We're not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because the wolves are gathering to see if the last hunt will occur because a choice
Or
must be made.
If there will be nothing.
Right. So Perrin's like, what are the two choices here? One path leads to the last hunt. The other path does not lead to the last hunt.
And it leads to nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothingness.
So I don't know if you're picking up on this, dichotomy of is or is not, right?
Yes.
There is no in between. We're gonna do that, or
Yeah.
we're not gonna do that.
We're not going to do it.
Yeah. And recalling
But
back to
if
Rand.
the decision
Yeah.
to not fight
Right.
is going to lead to nothingness.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And now we know it's Rand's
Maybe the
decision.
wheel of time being broken.
Well, literally, is Rand
Uh-huh.
going to end the world? So this is the one thing that's really cool too, and I want you to think about
Oh, right,
this.
because he almost does that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
literally the point of Veins of Gold.
I should read the Veins of Gold
Yeah.
and then read this again.
So Rand, just to summarize,
Yeah.
Rand's whole thing was, am I going to end the entire universe
because this place sucks.
because I hate it? It's just
Yeah.
the worst.
Why do we have to go
Or-
around in a million jillion circles just
Exactly.
to learn the same stupid things again?
Exactly.
Stupid.
But then he decides, no, I'm not going to end everything.
Fine.
We're going to do this thing.
gosh.
Yeah. So it's very cool, but I really like it. And as we kind of go through this, so obviously Perrin is in the Wolf Chamber now, Tel'aran'rhiod. We know that Rand, while he was on the mountain, he wasn't specifically in Tel'aran'rhiod. He very literally was on top of Dragonmount.
Yes.
But we have him doing this both in and out thing where he is in both. And I love that because if he's going to end the universe, you might as well end it in both the real world and Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah, and that's implying that Rand knew what he was doing.
I don't know if I'd even go that far to say that he knew what or how he would end everything. He just knows. And if he doesn't know, Luce Theron knew how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I would have to assume.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But he didn't consciously think, I know, I'm going to be in both because
Yeah.
if I'm going to end the
You
world,
gotta end in
I
both
should
places.
do it everywhere.
You gotta do it all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just kind of, it's pretty neat. I love this scene.
Yeah. Well, I kept wondering if Rand was going to notice Perrin.
Yeah. I mean, there was that as a potential for this, but
But I was like, oh, no, wait. I saw this whole sequence. He doesn't know Perrin's there.
yeah. Yeah, subconsciously.
But then I was like, is there something weird in the Veins of Gold chapter where it's like he catches a glimpse of something, but he doesn't know what it is, and it was Perrin?
Well, maybe it was.
Mm.
Gotta go back and read the series. You can't just read the chapter. You gotta go back and start from the beginning.
Oh, well, I'm not
Yeah.
going to do that. Okay. I
Yet.
might reread the whole chapter, though.
Yeah.
I won't, but I might,
Okay, so now Perrin feels himself being drawn to the
Yeah.
clouds above.
And at this point, I still think he's just lopping up a mountain.
Yeah,
Loping?
loping.
Okay, that's a word I read and
Flopping.
don't say out loud.
Flopping.
But flopping has 2 P's
Yeah, loping is like when you lope.
and 1 P. You
Yeah,
lope.
yeah.
Lope up a mountain.
Yeah.
Not lopping.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought he was just heading up a mountain
Yeah.
in Tel'aran'rhiod trying to figure something out. And I was like, is this a Slayer? Is this the Slayer fight?
Yeah.
Like, I actually
But
didn't
now
know
we know
what was
that,
going
like,
on.
we know that Rand specifically calls to Perrin relatively often. Like, he's like, hey, man, we need Perrin nearby. And Perrin can feel that more than I'd say Matt does. Perrin gets the pulling vibe. It happened at Dumine's Wells.
Yep.
Perrin also knows, like, Rand's definitely going to need him a couple of times to save
Yep.
his life. Like, that's...
Yep.
We're getting... He
I
needs
think
his
it's
bite.
safe to say that Perrin is a touch more introspective than Matt.
Fair. You know what? That's that's good.
Who's to say that Matt also isn't being pulled? He's just too caught up with his other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Me
so
too. I want to get caught up with Matt's stuff.
for sure we will.
But first,
soon.
we'll finish this.
Soon, yeah.
'Kay.
Okay, so Hopper says, hey man, it's dangerous to go up this mountain because he's being drawn towards Rand. And Perrin's like, okay, I gotta start climbing. And he does, and he's really fighting off the windstorm. And eventually Hopper slows down and says, I can't stay. I gotta go. I don't
I can't
belong
go up
here.
there.
That's not for me to be here. And Perrin understands. He's like, okay, see ya.
But I gotta go.
Yeah, Hopper disappears, and then Perrin keeps going through the storm. And it's getting progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
getting bad.
you know that whole nightmare where it's the dragon reborn?
Yeah.
Was that a foreshadow to the end of this chapter?
I mean, okay.
When we see a figure and it's Rand.
Sure.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Literary.
Right?
So-
Literary things.
So
What did the
literature.
author mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Perrin is going up. He's feeling this draw to the top of the mountain because he doesn't know what it is, but he feels like something monumental is going to happen, and he has to be a witness to it.
He has to do it.
I love it.
So
I love
he
it.
makes it to the top, sees a figure, and it's Rand.
And he knows it. He knows that it was Rand. He
It was
always
Rand
knew.
all along.
It was Rand all along.
It was always Rand.
It was always Rand. It could only be Rand.
Yeah, it could only be you. So he's standing motionless at the center of the windstorm,
Right.
staring off, and then that's when I went,
Oh. Dragon Mount Veins of Gold.
Got it.
Ah.
This is a scene
Epiphany
I've
on the
already
mountaintop.
seen.
Yeah, that's why they call it a scene. Because you've seen it.
Because I've seen it.
Terrible. Okay.
bad.
You have
Okay.
to cut out so many jokes.
I'm not.
You're going to leave them
Every joke. Every joke stays in. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, crazy things are happening all around
Yeah.
Rand.
This is where we get this whole... It's like the metaphysical, becoming the physical.
Tendrils of black.
Oh, it's all swirling
All
around
swirling
him.
around,
Whoa, and he's all
wrapping
covered
around
up in...
his skin, and it's evil.
He can feel it's evil. It's so evil.
And
It's
then
the
Perrin
most evil.
shouts, "Fight it, Rand! Fight it!"
Yeah, because it's...
But even though he knows that it's like stupid because Rand can't hear him.
Probably can't. But you never know. Maybe subconsciously.
Oh yeah.
Rand
They're
knows his boy's nearby.
connected.
They are connected, actually, though.
Actually.
Very, very literally connected.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. It's the whole tripod thing. You know?
Yeah, but then the darkness keeps seeping out, and we can barely see Rand.
Oh, he's barely visible. Tempest howling around.
And storming
Whoa.
and tempesting.
Yeah. I don't know if people can't see us, obviously, but our hands are working
Whoa,
overtime,
whoa.
swirling above our
I almost
heads.
spilled my drink.
Wow.
Okay.
That's how tempestly it is.
It's so temptuous.
Yeah.
Temptuous.
Yeah. Okay.
Tempestus.
One of those might be right.
And none of them are
Okay.
right.
And then finally we get a web of cracks starting to form in the evil shell of darkness, and it's the light.
Hooray, and we can see the sun.
Well, not yet, because it's the light from the inside of the shell explodes out
into
from the
a
inside.
column of light.
Column of light, and light everywhere. And then that parts
wait.
the tempest.
Is this a Min viewing at some point? Was this a viewing of somebody's or like a dream of Egwene's? I just had a...
I mean, we've seen a lot of
Am
different
I having a
types of
deja
things.
vu because it was literally explained like this when we read Veins of Gold?
Maybe a little bit.
Or was this
Maybe
a
a little
thing?
bit. Could be a little column A, a little column B.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah. And then we got the column of light erupting, and then Rand's in the light, and then that's when the tempest vanishes. Because the light from the inside explodes outwards, and then the clouds all
And that's
dissipate.
when we get the sun.
That's when we get the sun. Now the sun is shining down on the peak of Dragon Mount, and that's what we saw Egwene looking out the window from Tarvalon, being like, "Whoa, light on the Dragon Mount!" Right? So
Yeah.
we've seen this from a
Perrin
few
can
different things.
feel the warmth.
Yeah, and Rand is standing in the light, and it's all great. But this is the cool part. That's when my dogs show up.
Your wolves.
The wolves.
All the wolves.
They all
Here
start
they
popping
are.
in. Yeah, they
And
just.
they're jumping and dancing.
I love it. Hopper's like soaring around. He's
Oh,
just
he's so hopping.
flying to the moon. It's great, and they all howl.
And they're like, the last hump again.
Yeah, young bull, we live, and they all start howling, and it's great.
So exciting.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah. And now
go
I don't
time.
remember Rand hearing wolves howling.
Well, it's go time though. Rand didn't hear a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. These are all the wolf dream wolves.
That's true.
So
That's good.
Let's
That
go.
means they didn't get blasted into nothingness.
that's true. That's true.
That's a good thing.
Rand chose to live and to fight.
To laugh again.
And love.
And love.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember. I was there.
We were all there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited for it because next episode, we're doing one chapter, but it's a very special episode. We have a special guest.
Okay, and that is our first episode of the new year.
That is, yes.
And that means that our next week episode
Mm-hmm.
will not be a regular chapter episode, but in fact, a bonus episode that we recorded at JordanCon in April.
Because we are so on top of life right now.
We were on purpose waiting for the
We were like,
perfect moment
Yes.
to release this to the public, and we've had all this season 3 Wheel of Time show news, so it feels like kismet.
Yeah, if you wait long enough.
It's beshert. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to share it now.
It's going to be great.
Next week, that's when you'll get our bonus episode.
So is that the
where we
Christmas
interview...
Eve episode?
I actually don't know dates. You're
Okay.
the dates guy.
Well, yeah, no, because that's the Christmas Eve episode, and then there's the New Year's Eve episode.
What's this episode?
This episode would be either the Christmas Eve or the New Year's, flippity flop, whichever one we want to do first.
Let's do this one first on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
To those who celebrate. And that means that tomorrow's the first night of Hanukkah, so Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. And Happy everything.
Doesn't matter. Happy Wheel of Time.
Happy
and
Wheel of
then
Time.
the 31st
And
will be
then-
the special.
And then New Year's Eve,
Yep.
we'll get a bonus episode
Excellent.
where we interviewed Guy Roberts with a couple other podcasts at JordanCon. And if you don't know, Guy Roberts was an actor in the Wheel of Time show
He's Uno.
who plays Uno.
He's Uno.
And he signed our deck of Uno cards.
Yep.
It was great. But that interview will come out New Year's Eve
Perfect.
then.
And the first episode of the new year, special guest.
Special guest. Look at us having a plan.
It, yeah,
Came
it took long
together.
enough. Took long enough.
Came together.
It did. Yep.
Maybe our resolution for the new year can be get our shit together.
No,
a
that
little
was
bit.
that was resolution like the last like
Oh,
3
can you
years.
say that word properly?
The resolution,
Yeah.
the last like 3 years, we've always been like this year.
This
year
year
we're
in
gonna do it.
particular really kicked our butts.
Yeah.
We had a lot of change and shifting.
Mm-hmm.
This was a year of growth
Pivoting.
and pivoting
and
learning and growing. And as we learn
Changing.
and change
And grow.
and grow
and pivot.
and pivot, we're going to do it together with our Wheel of Time family. And I really hope that we get our shit together.
Yeah.
But thanks for sticking around with us this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
If you did, thanks.
And screw you, 2024.
No.
Here's 2025.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this ended up being a lot more monumental than I thought it would be.
Right. Parent
it's-
always gets ya.
Well, no, not that.
No. It's parent.
Just the fact that
Parent
this
gets
is our
ya.
last episode of this year.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then we're going to do a really fun Q&A on December 27th.
Yes.
And so if you can join us live for that in 2024, you definitely should,
With a special guest.
with a special guest. And if you listen to this after that, you can always go back and find it somewhere.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, before you go ahead and finish the year of 2024 and zoom into 2025, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Adam, Mozyme, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, Gabby Young, Rycat, Zane Sayaka, Matrix, The Albatross, Bratimus Prime, and Matt Truss. With music by Audionautic. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else, and at the time of recording, we have over 40 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping people find us. And tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern.
Do you know the number one thing that surprises engaged couples? Take a guess. The sheer amount of decisions they have to make while planning a wedding. Indoors or outdoors? How many guests? Are kids invited? Controversial. Which cake flavor? Seriously, how do you even begin to figure out what's right for you? That's where Zola comes in. Zola has everything you need to make every wedding decision a piece of cake. From choosing your dream wedding venue and vendors to deciding how to best spend your budget. With tons of customizable wedding websites, save the dates, and invites, every detail will feel like you. Zola will even help you choose the gifts, experiences, and cash funds you really want. The next thing you know, you've planned your whole wedding all in one place. From getting engaged to getting married, Zola has everything you need to plan your wedding in one place. Start planning at Zola.com. That's ZOLA.com.
It can get lonely climbing Mount McKinley, so to entertain myself, I go to ChumbaCasino.com. At Chumba Casino, I can play hundreds of online casino-style games for free, like online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Plus, I get a daily login bonus. It's just too bad that up here, I don't have anyone to share my excitement with. Woohoo!
Live the Chumba life. Anytime, anywhere. Play for free now at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.